nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, I know it's not a comic book intro, but still, I'm working on it. I will get there. I promise. We will get there. We will have a new comic book roundtable intro. Clobberin Times is comic book roundtable intro, where we get our good friend Tex Conway going. You lost the advantage, boy. It's clobbering time. That's right. All right. Good evening, everybody. It's good to see everybody here. Thank you so very much for coming and hanging out with us this evening. We're waiting on 24/7 Fusion Media. If there's a 24/7 Fusion Media out there, get your butt up here. Hurry up. Chop, chop. Waiting on you. And we're going to talk a little bit about Deadpool. And we're going to talk to our good friend Benny here, who's got a new book that is coming out. A new 140-page art book. The link is pinned in the chat. He has been kicking butt, taking names, and I heard you are funded.
We are funded, yes. This is it's very good. I think it was the following day after I did your stream. So yes, and thank you for everyone who has been supporting me on this. Again, Kickstarter is new to me, but crowdfunding isn't. I've fulfilled 7 books in a row over on Indiegogo, fulfilled everything on time. Top-notch work as always. You can see it right behind me.
And he's not kidding, folks. I got 2 of his books, and I'm about to get 4 more.
Awesome.
So, because we are ordering the 4-book set. So we'll get the new book, we'll get the art book 3, we'll get the Kraken, and we'll get Venus. So 4 beautiful books by Benny.
It's
I'm like, stuff. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I don't normally pat myself on the back, but everyone's been telling me just how much they love those projects. So again, it's every page looks like what you see what's right behind me. Super highly detailed, painted, all drawn up, just great stuff all around. But we're doing what we could to make sure we have good entertainment as always. Because the mainstream it's mostly a miss. Every once in a while we'll have a hit. I'd say a little bit like what we're going to talk about tonight, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, I was like, holy crap, I'm really, really digging this movie. So, what do we got here? We got the Art of Mini, the collected edition. You've got obviously the art book. You've got a cool little video here. We're not gonna play the video right now. He is funded. The goal has been completed. 9 backers, 22 days to go. And let's see what we got. We've got. You can make a pledge. You get the signed art book. We got 5 people that have backed that for the signed art book.
Mm-hmm.
You've got signed copies of art book, the art book
and,
1
and
and
the
2.
volume 3, which was I just done that one a few months ago. And 3 is got a lot of pencil drawings and ink pieces, but there's a ton of fully illustrated pieces in there as well. Covers I've done for other creators and stuff. So,
I love line art. I'm a sucker for everything line art, especially line art covers. Who dat? Who dat? It's 24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey.
welcome.
Shit, hopefully y'all doing good.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. 24.
All right.
Go ahead and talk again.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy.
There you go. That sounds better. Okay.
All right.
We've got the signed art books plus City of Venus.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm working on the sequel right now, which is going to be a much bigger book, and the work in there is some of my most proud work for sure, because it's just the level of detail is insane, and the world that I'm showing is it's pretty sick. I think you guys are going to enjoy it.
We've got signed art books plus Venus plus Kraken. That is what me and Eris went through all of this, and we were like, okay, if we're gonna do one, this is the one we're gonna do.
Sweet.
So
yeah, that's a good one if you're gonna do it. Yeah,
because you can catch up on Venus, you can catch up on Kraken, and you can get both art books. You can get volume 1 and 2 are in the new book with extra stuff.
Yeah,
and then you've got book 3.
Yeah, there's an extra 30 pages. So it's like a whole other book that's thrown in there.
Nice.
And then you've got original art.
Yep.
You've got like original art along with
the art book. Yeah. Any original artwork you buy, essentially you're going to get a book with that. And like I said, I think I moved 3 original pieces so far. So yeah, not too bad.
Superman's still there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
The Wolverine with the Hulk, I believe it sold when I was on your channel, which is awesome. So thank you to the backer on that one. The Man Bat sold, and what was the other one? Oh, Evil Lyn sold.
Ah,
yeah,
that's the one I was looking at. That I was like, man, if I want to get one, I want to get the Evil Lyn one. Let me see if I can pull up the. Dang.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there's a bigger shot of her if you scroll down.
Oh, at the bottom in there.
Yeah, I got like all the original artworks kind of all together. They're right there.
Oh, wow.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, and my buddy Ray Park, he was staring at that beast, man. I think he wanted it, but he didn't pull the trigger. He wants to play him in a movie. So,
I don't know what it is about the dark-haired ladies that are evil.
Yeah, she's actually, isn't she? I think she's like bleached blonde or all white, her hair.
That's in the new one, yeah.
I believe it's in the original too. If she takes off that headdress,
it is.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I like that one.
Yeah, that piece. Yeah, that one moved too.
Oh, that is
great.
killer.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But like I said, there's a ton of work, and for those if you're brand new to seeing my stuff, I am a former lead designer at McFarlane Toys. I've done stuff for Image as well. So yeah, I've been around the block, so they say, but in a good way. But yeah, I've been doing my own indie stuff for a while, and like all the conventions and stuff. But yeah, I hone my skills. So you see, yeah, very unique style, almost painterly. But again, I love doing line work as well. So in my more current projects, you'll see that there's the ton of line work I have in there. But then I also have a kind of painterly approach to it as well.
Hello, Mark D with a C.
Hello, everyone. How's it going? Sorry I'm running late. I was hanging out with my son who came home. So
You're all
Hail to
good,
everyone.
man.
Welcome,
We were just
welcome.
looking at Benny's. It's Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, it's the first time I'm on Kickstarter. Like I said, I'm more than trusted over on Indiegogo. Everything I've done, I fulfilled on time, and yeah, not a lot of people could say that, which is
Yeah,
sad.
your stuff is always done on time, shipped on time.
Yep, yep, and this is all me. You know,
And look,
I've only,
we got to get them to 8K so we can get this print sent out to everybody.
yeah, that'll be free for everyone if we hit that stretch goal. So it doesn't matter if you backed on day one or the last day. Yeah, as long as we hit it, yeah, you guys will get an extra free stuff. Yeah, provided again numbers go up regardless. I want to try to tack on some things for all my fans. I usually do something on my different projects, something extra.
And just to remind everybody, this goes till the end of this month.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be the 30th. Yeah, the 30th
Okay.
is the last day. Because that's what's different between Indiegogo and this one. It's yeah, it's your fixed time and that's it.
All right, heck yeah. And you have put a lot of work into this.
Oh, it's a ton of work. I already have a sample printed, and I think it looks pretty damn amazing. It doesn't show up as well on this camera with the that green screen thing I got going on here, but yeah, it is the thickest book that I've had. The only book that's not on this campaign is my hardcover Through the Woods, and that thing was 100 pages. It's a contained story, but that's over on Indiegogo. You can still find that one, and it
It's
ships
one of the books I
immediately.
have of yours that I was
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, his eyes glow. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, I got that. I read that. I know I've got that. That's somewhere in my comic book room.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a ghost story, and it's pretty cool. Good suspense and stuff, and yeah, the last act of the book gets very violent. But yeah, trying to make sure people are very entertained with the projects I have out there, because there's too many. It's just like agenda filled crap. That's not what I want to do. I went back to old school, almost like pulp comics. Like they're not afraid to kind of push the envelope, but they're making sure that it stays in tune with the storytelling. It's not just something over the top for the sake of it. But again, if we're dealing with pirates, you're going to see violence. You're going to see some really crazy stuff in there.
Kind of like
You're not worried
creepy.
about recycling or
Yeah,
saving the planet.
exactly. They're not doing that. And it's more traditional pirates. There is like a supernatural twist to it, but not like Pirates of the Caribbean. This is actually more adult like, and yeah, you're going to see more characters in history as well actually pop up in that story. So, but yeah, lots of good stuff, and yeah, and the City of Venus. So if you like a post-apocalyptic world with hot babes, that's definitely something I think that would be appealing to those individuals who enjoy that. But there's also a really cool story in there too, and some really like messed up experiments and like what you see roaming around that world. They're not zombies; they are failed experiments. But you'll see the more screwed up things too, because they said it so far into the future. It's like been multiple wars and cities that were built on top of others, like the ruins of other cities, and it got to a point where it's just like we have like tens of maybe hundreds of people, and that's about it. This isn't a very booming world. This is very bleak, but there's some really cool stuff in there and a little bit of hope, I would say. But yeah, like I said, just a ton of work in here. Yeah, these are some of the pages from Volume 3, which again is about 64 pages. I keep saying 52. This one's 64 pages. So between this one and the main book of the campaign, that's 204 pages of artwork. And let me tell you, it's like I said, it's just teeming with some of the coolest stuff. If you're a fan of video games, movies, comics, you name it, it's pretty much in there.
And then you got book 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Again, that Cheshire Cat. I said this last week. That right there, that Cheshire Cat. Yes, absolutely.
That's a
Yeah,
great
man,
page.
thanks.
Yeah, great art all around. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm all self-taught as well.
No lessons, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you,
That's
man. Yeah, I'm a huge Universal Monster fan. I got a few pieces in there. There's a Wolfman, the Bride of Frankenstein. There's a few more I definitely want to add in there. I haven't done a Dracula the way that I wanted yet, but he's eventually gonna. I'll do him soon.
So you gonna go? Are you gonna go Bela Lugosi, or are you gonna go Christopher Lee?
That's what I've been on the fence about because I love them both, and that's tough right there. So unless I want it sort of a blend,
make them brothers. Make them brothers. Yeah.
Right?
Dracula's.
I
Yeah.
probably have to do two.
Yeah. Ghost Rider. Wow.
Right, was sick.
Yeah. It's Flaming Skullman for
Yeah.
copyright purposes, but
Yeah.
that's Hot Explorer, babe.
Yeah. No relation to Lara Croft. That's Laura Croft, actually.
Yeah, there's actually the full image. It's pretty amazing. I just kind of cropped it where you could just see her, but yeah, there's a lot more going on in the scene too. But yeah, lots of good stuff.
Vampires.
Yeah, just like I said, a slew of great stuff in here. Yeah, some of the kind of fairy tale artwork that people seem to enjoy. I do have a couple of other Alice pieces that are in there. When the people enjoyed it, I had her like in the bottle, like she had shrunken down, but her dress got all wet because of her tears, so it's hanging outside of the bottle. But it's tasteful. It's cheesecake.
Yeah.
So just,
How does the copyright work on that stuff? Like, I guess, like, it's Captain Hook in the public domain, but Disney's version isn't, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah, the public domain stuff is all right. The other stuff, they normally look the other way unless like you have monster sales, then it's another story. But yeah, don't worry. There's a lot of great stuff in here, though.
Oh no, I'm just wondering as an artist how
Yeah,
because it's
well,
I know they go after people sometimes. Which
it's
is
interesting. Yeah, if you work for Marvel or DC, they seem to just look the other way. There's no major agreements. The only person, there's maybe one or two artists I saw that actually had like an exclusive agreement where it was okay for them, but otherwise, people don't even really talk about it. Because if you go to crackdown on one, that means you got to crackdown on everyone, and then at that same time, you're hurting the industry as a whole. Because they were trying to do that at conventions when people were doing like the prints, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do those characters," blah blah blah. The only time they really put their foot down is if the artist is being like a major asshole. Then they pretty much like try to shut them down. But yeah, typically they look the other way. But I've worked for a lot of companies as well, so typically they're kind of okay with it.
Well, yeah, you're growing the brand too, right? If all the fans are there, and then that's a little bonus for the artist too, right? It gives them a little, it's kind of like a company bonus, I would think, right? If they go after you.
Yeah, I don't know how it works at Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
some of the stuff I've done with Marvel, like I designed toys for Toy Biz, but like Spider-Man figures, things like that. But for McFarlane, I was a lead designer, so yeah, I would have liked to show more stuff that I'd done over there, but it's a lot different than your typical kind of comic book style. So I don't want to bore people either. So I try to make things a little bit more exciting with this artwork and these pages. Because like every time I do a piece, even if it's not sequential, I want it to. You could pretty much like tell a story just by looking at an image. That's something like Frank Frazetta used to do all the time. The amazing painter who did all the Conan covers and stuff.
Any of you guys have any questions for Vinny?
Yeah, how long you been drawing? You don't mind me asking.
Professionally, or because I started as a kid, like maybe around 10 or 11. But I really started honing my skills in my teens. I had met Stan Lee back in the day, and he really gave me a real good boost in the arm that I needed. Unlike Fauci, no. Stan Lee was awesome. And then years later, as I was already doing some stuff in the industry, he actually bought original artwork from me, which is really
Nice.
amazing. And,
Cool.
yeah, I think I told Loki last week, but yeah, two of the pieces that he had bought from me, when he passed, it reverted back to the people that kind of were his handlers, and they were starting to sell some of the stuff. And a friend of mine found both pieces, messaged the guy, and goes, "Is this legit?" Blah blah blah. I started talking to him, and the guy broke down the whole story of how Stan met me because he was with him. It was him. It was kind of like a little. When he used to do the convention, it was a bit of an entourage because he was so old. So he had security and some of his like other handlers, and he stopped everyone. And I got a message from Stan from beyond the grave through this guy as well. And yeah, and he just said it. Yeah, he was this guy here. This is some amazing talent. I want to buy some of his work. This is the future of comics. That's literally what Stan said. So I couldn't be more over the moon about that. I heard part of it when that happened, but not all of it, because again, the conventions are so noisy, and he was a little more frail at that point. Yeah, so my friend, he ended up buying these pieces from the guy, and so it went from me to Stan to now one of my good friends who has him on his wall right now.
Nice.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, I got a couple of the pieces in the art books as well. Those two, which is cool. He bought a Joker piece. It was like an awesome kind of headshot I had of Joker, and a Spider-Gwen that was sort of reminiscent of the Amazing Spider-Man 300. I did a slight different take on it, but in the same vein. So yeah, because I'm sick of everyone who they just trace over that image essentially and go, "It's an homage to Todd." No, it's a scam. Draw something new, please, for the love of God. That thing's been recreated about 1,001 times.
Well, I have a McFarlane figure here. This is actually, I don't know if you worked on this. Let me take, I keep Uhura in there. I don't know if you want to blow that up. But I keep Uhura in the Kong. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was actually, did you work on this one or?
Oh, wait. Oh, this was the original, the box set one.
Yeah.
No, I was there from around 2001, and my work kept coming out until about 2004. But I did not work on this one. I would have loved to. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I did like the Viking like Dark Age line.
Okay.
There was 6 figures, and there was a box set on the horse. It was a Spawn on the horse, and they had 2 versions. KB Toy Store ordered exclusive versions of those figures, so it was a different head and different paint jobs on those figures. But yeah, I did a ton of stuff. The Onimusha 2 figures, those that samurai video game. I was responsible for saving that line. I literally pulled it out of the garbage because the guys in the studio, they're like, "Oh, we did Samurais," and I'm like, "This is a sequel to one of the at the time it was like the #1 video game that Capcom had put out." And I'm like, "This is the sequel." And they're like, "What?" Like they were choking on their lunch. They couldn't believe it. I'm like, "Yeah, you guys just had it in the trash." So like I did a bunch of drawings and stuff, and Todd approved them, Capcom approved them, and it just went ahead. Which
Great.
But yeah.
Well, this was my very first YouTube video. I unboxed this, so this has special memories too. So it had it in the box for like 15, or I can't remember what year this came out. 15 years or a really long time. So I'm like, let me do my first unboxing. And I think Eric K was the first person watching one of my videos, and I couldn't get it out of the box too. I was so nervous my first video because it has like a million wires, but it's a great figure. It's a great
it's amazing.
McFarlane Toys does. Amazing work. As a collector, we just appreciate all the the McFarlane figures, how well done they are.
Yeah, during that time, especially because it was all in-house. Now he outsources to China, so things are a lot different. But yeah, in this one you could see like this thing is hand sculpted, and I knew like the guys who did the fabrication that basically like they did the whole base for them, like they do all the extras, which is pretty cool. I mean, I might break down some of the stuff on my channel again, but from time to time I still do the toy streams. So I don't know. Are you doing more stuff, or is this just like a one and done?
Well, I mean, whatever. I got tons of toys, so as I get to them, I have something called Toys in the Attic. So I try to do unboxings, or it's hard to. it's pretty bad problem. But I've got stuff that I've packed away because I don't have enough room. And then,
Yep.
once in a while, I'll open a box and they're in storage and see what's in there. Or cycle different figures out. But
yep, I do the same. I rotate. I've been a collector since I was a kid, so yeah, same deal.
You rotate, or you. The scary thing is you forget and you buy a figure twice or something, which could be a problem. But I know we're gonna talk a little bit about Wolverine, but I've been showing this. It fell down. He'll live. But just while you got the camera, I don't know. Like this is something I found in one of the boxes.
Yeah.
So Wolverine, see if Jackman is on the line, but so it's just fun to
you pick it up. Does it go? Let's go, bub.
Let's effing go.
Yeah, don't. Are you a telemarketer? I'm sending Wolverine to kick your ass. Yeah, but it's just having fun. I don't even know where I got this or when I had it. Maybe I got it on eBay. I can't remember, but it's got to be at least 20 years old or more.
Yeah. But pretty cool. They don't really do gimmicky stuff like that anymore, which is kind of fun. But real quick too, since you did bring up that Kong. If you remember the Jaws box set, it was the boat that had that had him in Quint that was like in his mouth. Well, we had one of the first things when I got there, they had photos of Steven Spielberg, and he looked like a little kid because they gave him like one of the they called them 2-ups because basically they were like double the size of what we normally get when you see it like in package and stuff. Because
as like a demo or as a sample or as a
like it's like one of the samples that we had like in the office because like we'll do the mock up and then paint it all, and that's what's normally like all those fancy photos that they used to take. That's what it would be pretty much like based on. But they sent one of the copies over to him, and he had put it on his office, like on his desk behind it, and he was just sitting there like this. Like he sent over photos of him like that, and it was like a big thank you that he wrote all over it. So that was pretty cool to see. Like
actually, Clobberin Times, who the show's named after, had that in his house too. Because I went to, unfortunately, after the funeral, we went to his house, and that was one of the cool things that he had.
Wait, who was that?
Who the show is named after? Clobberin Times, our buddy Nick Lonzo, who passed away.
So me and Clobby, when we first started talking, we were like, let's do like a comic book show. And we invited 24/7 on, and we invited another guy on, and eventually it kind of turned into what it is today. But since he started it with me when we first started, when he passed away, we changed the name from just the Comic Book Roundtable to Clobberin Times Comic Book Roundtable.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude.
So, Mike was a really, really good guy.
Oh man, yeah, man. I'm sorry for everyone's loss on that. It's tough. It's tough. There's especially over the past couple of years. Yeah, I know we've all lost good friends and family and stuff, but especially like the streamers that we've had a lot of good bonds with certain creators and stuff too. So it's cool though that you guys kept things going anyway, and because a lot of times, like I know people they change completely, and we'll make the show go in a different direction now, blah blah blah. But it's good to keep the memories going.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same show it's always been. It's just
hell yeah,
Clobby's not here. The only thing I had to add to that is somewhere in this house there is a red. It looks like a Blu-ray box, but it's not. It's the extended edition of King Kong, and it's in a red plastic case. And that red plastic case is an HD DVD. If no one remembers where that thing came from, when you got your HD DVD player that went along with your Xbox 360, you like plugged it into the back and hooked it up. It came with the extended edition of Kong in this red box. Well, somewhere back there in a box somewhere is that damn thing. That's all I have left of it. I don't have the actual player because why would you need a player that they never came out with anything but like 5 movies on? Because
wasn't that the push back then? It was the HD red versus Blu-ray.
The
Blu-ray dominated.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it helped one.
It was Microsoft, right? The HD.
Yeah, the HD.
That was with the Xbox, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. and the Sony's Blu-ray won out. So
Yeah.
they should never release that system without that drive in it. They should have just waited and played catch up with Sony. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to listen.
That's bad business decisions.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the second half of this show, and we are going to talk some Deadpool. So, fair warning, we are going to talk Deadpool. If you have not seen Deadpool, if you want to know about Deadpool,
full spoilers or partial spoilers?
You can pretty much bring up whatever you want. It's been what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
This you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm sure this weekend it's going to hit 1 billion.
24, are you going to stick around?
To be real, Twitter already fucking opened the bag. So, I mean,
nuked it. Okay.
Yeah, because some of these spoilers, I was doing our first review. I'm like, you really should leave if you don't want to hear these spoilers. Like, not that we don't want people watching the show, but some of the cameos and surprises were just so fun, and that was some of what was really good about the movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, you don't want to be spoiled. It's a steal in line. Go away now, but please come back. Yeah,
it's a rarity when you're at a theater and people are in the middle of the movie, standing up, hooping and hollering, cheering, getting up and clapping, saying hell yeah. And when you experience that, you're like, this is going to be huge. This theater reaction like that, where everybody's kind of unified in this, just clapping and cheering and yeah, hell yeah, and all that. That's you don't get that. You rarely get that.
Yeah.
Who got the biggest cheer when they out of the cameos?
Oh, it was Blade. As soon as Blade,
seriously?
Oh, dude, there were guys that were like, hell yeah, it's him.
I honestly thought it had been Cavill because I'm surprised he didn't get the biggest pop.
In my theater it was both. In my theater it was both. He got a massive pop with the laughs, and then when Blade came on, it was like, oh shit. Like, almost collectively. So that was pretty cool.
Well, the Chris Evans in my theater, I think, was probably number one. Although Blade, but the spoiler alert, the flame on, because everyone thought it was going to be Cap.
Yeah. I knew he was there, and I knew what he was there for. But it didn't even I didn't even think about it. I was just like, holy crap, it's him. It's him. And you see like red and white.
Yeah.
So you're immediately thinking, oh, it's Cap. Why is Cap there? Is it a different Cap? Is it a Cap from an alternate universe? Are they bringing Cap back? And then Ryan Reynolds is like, he's gonna say it. Avengers, flame on! And he's like, oops.
He's like, what now?
What?
I didn't like that Chris anyway.
Although that was hilarious what they did with him, and then at the post-credit scene thing they did, that was awesome.
Well, you're not used to that. You're used to language.
Oh yeah. But and to be honest though, that's the one thing I'll definitely give the Deadpool character. When he is deadly honest about things, he really does mean it. And Aaron's like, no, he's just full of shit. And then at the end, it's like, no, my name's cleared.
Yeah, they're like, they called him a kid. He's like, isn't he like, I'm forgetting the exact line, but isn't he like 50 years old or something?
Yeah.
Deadpool. But the one thing I got to say though, Clobberin Times. I'm assuming would not have liked that post-credit scenes as a huge Fantastic Four fan, and I didn't. I took it as like just a joke and as a side, but Johnny Storm wouldn't be talking like that. It was hysterical in terms of an end credit scene, but
it was.
Well, that's because we're in Deadpool's
universe,
whatever, and he's manipulating things like, see, it wasn't me, it was him. I didn't make anything up. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He repeated word for word.
It was word for word. You're dang straight. Deadpool said it. And no, I highly doubt Johnny said it. He just did that to be like, see, my name's clear. It wasn't me. It was him.
Well, and if you go back and you watch it again, there's that moment where Gambit, when he says something really lewd, and he turns to me and goes, "Oh, no wonder you and Johnny must have been really close then with a mouth like that."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I said, man, there was a lot of great jokes that landed, and it was like so perfect, for the characters. Yeah, man, so much good stuff, and got to give it to Hugh Jackman, because when they were doing that thing where, so the main thing is, I guess he's his character was like this anchor for that universe, and in the Logan movie, and since he had passed away, Deadpool thought that, oh, I'll just go find another Wolverine in another world and replace the anchor. So that's when he's kind of like he's hopping using that, I guess, the thing from the Loki show that so he could go to different dimensions, and he was going to all the different ones, but like all of the Wolverines he's running into, they're all played by Hugh Jackman except for Cavill. That's the only one that was different, and the rest of them were all Hugh, and each one of them was just really amazing out of the comic books.
You had Apocalypse Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
In the long hair,
and the chopped off hand.
Yep. Apocalypse Wolverine, and then you had short, tiny Wolverine.
Yeah, the comic book accurate. They weren't even shorter though on purpose.
I think they made him look like 4 feet tall though, right?
Yeah. Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logan,
which was pretty cool. And the Marc Silvestri from the X-Men cover where he's crucified on the X.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Or not Fallen Mutants, the Aboriginal X-Men.
Yeah, that was really cool if they did that. That was a surprise. Wasn't expecting that, but yeah, some really good stuff. And that Apocalypse one, though, just the way he was attacking him too looked incredible. I really jumped in the air and like everything that you wanted out of that. But probably the one that I enjoyed the most, and I wish that they showed more of it, brown suit Wolverine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus Hulk. Like they have that's there. Like it's like, oh, can we just have at least a couple more seconds? Can we see full Hulk?
Yeah, but
Captain Hulk.
They messed that up. They messed that up though with the script though. He did not originally fight Hulk in the tan and brown costume. He fought him in the one that he's currently or variation of the
yellow and blue one. Yeah.
In that one, but that was the McFarlane cover.
I'm talking about from '74 from Incredible Hulk. Yeah, I'm talking about the one from '74. I'm not talking about the.
No, I agree. But that's the one that they did was based off of McFarlane, because that's why he had the claws come out and you see the reflection of the Hulk's face on the claws. That was that famous one.
Those are the ones I've got because I've got that whole run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that. I was supposed to get that run, but the comic book shop decided to sell it under my. I had it on the pull list. Sold it under me, bastard. But he went out of business soon after. So what goes around comes.
You're doing stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, guess what? You're gonna lose some of your customers, right?
That is one thing me and Clobby went back and forth about. I loved McFarlane's Spider-Man, and to get all that, that's just like damn, I want more of that, and I want it on screen too.
That's what got me hooked, man. That's what got me hooked as a kid. That first one that I got, it was I forgot what it was, like maybe an 8-part storyline or something. Silver Sable was in it. It was Captain America was on the cover with his shield, and Spider-Man kind of beside him, like crawling on the wall. Like that's what got me hooked. That's when I was, because I picked up a couple of books when I was a kid here and there. But when I saw that, I'm like every week I was going back. Like, what else you got? What else you got?
Mm-hmm.
So. Well, there was so much hype when, and I know Clobby hated. Well, I should say hate, but didn't like McFarlane. I really loved it too, and I purchased a subscription actually to Amazing at $2.98 was my first issue when the subscription started. So I got in at a good time, but
yeah, you did.
but there was a hype about that too. Like everyone wanted to know that what was happening in the next McFarlane book, and everyone, it was a big deal. It was in popular culture too. I mean, he skyrocketed, and I love his art in those books. It's phenomenal.
He did something so different because back then it was just the John Romita senior version of Spidey. It was the very conservative type, the way that they were doing like his poses and stuff. It was like it still looked cool. And don't get me wrong, I love Romita and Romita Senior. But McFarlane brought something that was more animated, more in your face, the foreshortening, the extreme poses, because like he focused on the spider element, not the man element.
Webbing.
yeah, the webbing, which was even funnier because when he started going crazy with the webs, you're like, well, one of the editors was so pissed. He's like, what is with that spaghetti webbing? And Todd went, I never had a name for it. Now I do. Spaghetti web. I like that. And then he just went even more crazy with the webbing.
Yeah. I love that webbing. Yeah, it had like a million strands. He'd draw it too. Like no one would really draw it before. Like you'd see how the webbing went with the different lines and yeah.
Yeah, I started doing similar stuff when I was, when I first started learning to draw and everything. I'm like, that's kind of where I got like the highly detailed stuff from, because he was just throwing lines everywhere, whether they worked or they didn't. Because like going back, like I could probably dissect the shit out of his work, but there's still a lot of fun about it, and he brought a really good like visual kind of thing with those pages. So.
One of the things I really enjoyed about this is what happens to characters when they get rewritten. Anybody that knows anything about comics knows that Superman started over dozens of times. The X-Men have started over multiple times. They've started new runs where things didn't happen in the past, or they didn't happen like they used to, or the characters changed or whatever. And in this, it's almost like everybody that was in or connected to the Fox Marvel is now been banished to this alternate, this wasteland of, well, you know what? This is where you're at, and this is where you're going to end, and you're never going to get out of here. And it gives you this idea of, is that where they all go when they're done, when the run is over, when they start the story over, whatever is this? And there are people out there going, this didn't make any sense. Why didn't it make any sense? Because why are they all there? They wouldn't have all ended up there because that universe has ceased to exist. The Fox Marvel movies no longer exist. They're no longer canon. It's like what they did with Star Wars. It's what Disney did with Star Wars. All this stuff that used to be there doesn't exist anymore. And I get it in a comic book sense. Okay, this kind of makes sense because, things get rebooted all the time in comics. But to see it, to experience it, to go, that's my blade. Yeah. Yeah.
Which the thing that's interesting with them doing that is that they could still dip in and take who they want. Because, like, you saw at the end of this movie, like, they pretty much saved X-23. She's now with Deadpool and Wolverine now. So, like, again, if they want, they could do that. And I think that's what they kind of shot themselves in the foot with the Blade thing. Because now you have Mahershala Ali, his movies like in limbo. They screwed it up so bad. Rewrites, directors quitting, all this stuff. And now everyone's like, well, wait a minute. We just had Blade on screen in this, and he had an amazing fight scene. And
why don't we use him?
Yeah, right? And everyone's like, well, yeah, why are they redoing Blade? There's no purpose to that. And
because some mother effers are still trying to ice skate uphill. And that's exactly what he says in the movie is some MFers are still trying to ice skate uphill. I am Blade. I am the only Blade.
Yes.
And you're like, yes.
And then Deadpool looks at the camera like right into the camera. And people forget it's so long ago that, Ron Reynolds was in the third Blade movie, with in Blade. So
and he had a mouth. Yeah. He had one heck of a mouth. You could almost call him Wade Wilson because of the mouth he had in Blade 3.
Which, again, I had made that point that a lot of people didn't know this, apparently. Because that version, like you were saying, when writers come in and they change things, Deadpool was never like he is in more current years. When he first appeared in the comic books, he wasn't breaking the fourth wall. He wasn't that snarky and, making those types of jokes. It was Joe Kelly that came in and changed that. I believe with Ed McGuinness. I could be wrong with the artist, but I think it was Ed. When they came in, they started changing it, and Joe Kelly put it in one of the stories too, where they make a joke about him and Ryan Reynolds that like he sounds like he's Ryan Reynolds, and it's almost like they created each other in a way at the same time. Because then someone tipped off Ryan like when he was going to start working on the Wolverine movie and all that, and he started reading all the books and he fell in love with the character. So when he was on set, that's why he was so disappointed with what they had done in that script. But he had no power, he had nothing. The only thing that he was able to do is like because he was really sad after a take, and he asked you, it's like because he was like, is something wrong? Because I wish I could have done that take better. And Hugh stopped everyone. They were still on set. And he goes, "Hey, you guys feel like doing one more take? There's something I wanted to do, or whatever." And he let Ryan improv, and that improv made it into the movie when they're in the elevator and he's talking about the protein and all that, and the guy's farting essentially. So like that whole joke, like it worked and it landed. It's the way that they wanted. And he goes, he never forgot that. So when Ryan started working on these other movies, now he doesn't care what it is or who it comes from. He'll ask everyone on set, if you have a better idea, we'll do another take. And if it works better, we'll put it in the movie. Because he goes, it's for the actual film. It's not about personal stuff. It's not about ego. It's about getting the characters right. So when you have an actor like that who really gives a shit about what he's doing and the character he's portraying and the world that they want to build, I think that's why this movie was so good. Because he fought with Disney so many times, especially with Bob Iger and Kevin Feige. Because Kevin wanted to put in She-Hulk, and they had a massive fight about that. And they said, just does not work. And so Ryan got his way, thank God.
They just want to throw her in as another one of the cameos, or the new She-Hulk character. Or
she was gonna have a couple of big scenes in that movie, and the actress was really pissed too because she signed a contract and she was supposed to be in the promotional material as well. And since she got completely cut, she was trying to sue Disney and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, she was. Wow, I didn't hear this. Yeah. I mean, if you tried to put the John Byrne version of She-Hulk in, ripping up your comics, that She-Hulk, that would have been fun, awesome. Maybe, but not the MCU She-Hulk.
No.
We got twerking.
Yeah, that would have destroyed it. They said it was so out of character too, because like she's supposed to beat both of them up in a fight and like make them learn a lesson or something. Like, no, this is not working, and he's like, nope, not happening. So.
That could have killed it. I'm gonna teach you boys a lesson.
Yep.
You're patriarchal and
rumor has it. What's her face as well? Captain Marvel. Same shit. She was supposed to have a scene in the movie, and it was going to be something along those lines. And they said nope, and they just cut it. I think they filmed her scene. They did a test.
They filmed it?
Yeah, they did a test of that part, and they said they were infuriated by it, and they just clipped it. He's like, nope. And Ryan goes, I told you that won't work. We got to keep what we have here. And they were editing up until the last minute because they wanted to make sure it was going to be right for the fans.
Well, he's got enough power now being that successful. So, I mean, I think that line is going to come true. They're going to have Hugh is going to play Wolverine till he's 90. Or, God, could you imagine him doing actual old man Logan story?
Yes.
Actually follow. Well, I mean, I don't know how closely they can follow the comics and certain issues we won't mention here, but I mean, actually do a gritty, superhero comic. I mean, with Logan, I always remember seeing that opening scene. It's finally, that's how Wolverine would fight, right? I mean, he'd be cutting arms off and mauling people with his claws. We finally got that. And just the other thing the movie did so well too, I think the use of music was just fantastic. I mean, I know everyone here on the panel are huge NSYNC fans, but bye. I mean, that song.
Well, let me go put on my t-shirt.
But I mean that that song was just so well done. I was teasing, my sister was a massive NSYNC fan, and she's 10 years younger than me. So I'm like, Jackie, you got to go see this movie because you're gonna love the opening number with they're using the Logan skeleton from the Logan movie, and he's using that dancing with bye.
That was incredible.
And you're just, everyone in the theater was like laughing and like, well, maybe that's not so appropriate, but I mean, and then the Like a Prayer, the Madonna music, and all the music, that really adds a great, almost like Guardians of the Galaxy did with, in terms of making music part of the story. And everyone just wants to see this. And in my movie theater, you could tell who the comic book fans were, because when they were showing those covers, well, that weren't the covers, but there were the actual scenes, you could tell the people that were going nuts and screaming had those comics, or knew who Patch was. And there's just so many great little Easter eggs and moments in that movie for the fans.
Isn't that the song they play in X-Men 2 when they've escaped the mansion and they're in Scott's car and they're messing around with the buttons in Cyclops' car, and it starts playing that song, and Logan like hits the dash and it shuts off, and he's like,
Well, I know it was a boy band one, but it might have been that song. It'd be even funnier and more deep cuts of it if it is. I haven't gone back to watch that.
it was pointed out to me in a conversation with somebody that when they're fighting in the car, he rams Deadpool's head into the radio. The Greatest Showman's a song from The Greatest Showman is playing on the radio after when he rams his head into the panel the first time.
Oh, that's great. That's
he made that minivan cool too, right? Everyone wants to own a minivan now.
Yeah. Yeah, he was destroying the Odyssey, and then no, I was wrong. It F's hard.
Joe Dog says the Wolverine costume looks okay. I'd rather prefer the brown 80s costume the best. It's the first costume I ever saw him in.
Yeah.
Was that brown one. I didn't know about the blue and the yellow one until later.
Yeah. Todd had it in the Spider-Man storyline. When Wolverine guest appeared in there, he fought Wendigo. Wendigo shredded him, and he came back in with the yellow on.
And got Spider-Man's help.
Yep.
Went and got Spider-Man.
Yeah. That was a dark story, but it's still pretty cool.
Well,
I cherish those. Those comics I went through as a kid, so I can't tell you how many times I opened it and read them, but I've got them.
Yep.
And those comics I've carried around for over 30 years. So it's like mine. They're mine. Don't touch them.
Yep. Dude, I was learning a lot from those back in the day. Same deal. And just you're just staring at every page, every panel, because it's again stuff you haven't seen before. It's he opened up that world. So it is cool to see, but. And then again, all the kind of nods to what they did in this movie as well, because there's a lot of the fight sequences and stuff, and they're doing these poses and things that are straight out of a comic book. When Wolverine, he goes flying back into the minivan, claws out, come on, that's stuff right out of the pen. It's beautiful, great stuff. Oh, and even the fight sequences that when him and Deadpool first fought when they got into into that other world. I don't know if anyone caught that, but when he starts dodging Wolverine clawing at him, they mimicked Spider-Man 1 with Flash Thompson when he's swinging at Peter after Peter got his powers and he's dodging all those. They did it the same exact way. Every little nod that they were doing, it was perfect, so good. So and I don't normally shill for movies. This thing, I was very happy with it because they handled all the characters so well. It worked. It worked.
Yeah, they were showing Jennifer Garner training for this role. I mean, she was working out like crazy, and she was, she's spinning those sides around. And Claude Parrish put a joke, and he said she looked like Elektra's mom, but I said she still got it going on for me. But
oh hell yeah, she looked amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, they all
in person.
You met her?
Yeah.
Wow.
She really is. She's a gorgeous woman. But it was before Ben ruined her.
But I mean, yeah, all these people, actors, and Channing Tatum, how much work he did for Gambit. And, Gambit's never been my favorite X-Men, but God, his scenes were phenomenal. And wow, they really look great too. I mean, they did such a phenomenal job with the Gambit scenes and the cameos. And they actually had something to do. And everyone in the movie theater was going nuts and rooting for him when Gambit does, his cards going out. Everyone was yelling like crazy, and
his sequence was.
It was just fun.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun, and we didn't get. There's a good message in the movie too. Deadpool wanting to be a better person, and that he does have a character arc, and which is nice, but it's not banging over the head with modern day political garbage or the message, but it has a good heart to the movie. I mean, the plot's not, all right. So it's a kind of a silly plot. I didn't care for it that much, but in the end, didn't bother me because you're there to see these characters, and Hugh Jackman is such a damn great actor. I mean, when he's chewing Deadpool out in the minivan, I mean, he's really, that's Wolverine, and he pulls that off, and he's got such great emotions and range, and it's just I'm just so glad we got to see him again. And but he's going to be playing Wolverine till he's 90 now. But I know there's talk about Henry Cavill doing maybe becoming Wolverine in the Marvel universe. But
he was pretty perfect. That little scene was incredible.
No, absolutely. When he was like, "Oh my, it feels so right to have you here. Screw those guys down the block that treated you like shit."
Yeah. That
You know,
was
the
so good.
Disney lines are so great. It's like, yeah, when he's in the, and I don't like the time variance of, TVA, apologies, Walt and Mr. Simonson, but it was fun in the FF. But when he shows up there with Wolverine and Deadpool, well, you're joining the Marvel universe, sorry, but it's at a low point right now.
Yeah.
And all the digs about Marvel sucks since Endgame. I'm like, I guess, I don't know, did they sneak any of those lines by anyone, or probably not? But
I'm Marvel Jesus.
I'm Marvel Jesus. Yeah.
I think they
Right.
missed an opportunity not putting Cable in there for a cameo as well. Cable's
Yeah, I was a little disappointed he wasn't in it. Like in each of those movies, like they had something really cool in there, and like Mark was saying too, it has heart. Every one of those movies that was Deadpool, it wasn't just funny, just violent. There is something more there. That's why I think people resonated with the character. But yeah, someone like Cable would have been awesome to see him in here too.
just as a pun, mostly as a pun, not even taken seriously. Just like maybe he got popped out and sent back to his own timeline with into the future or something like that. It just a jab at him. It didn't necessarily have to be a major role or anything in my opinion.
Well, you could joke about it and been like, the TVA says they had plans for me. What do you mean, big guy? Something about Grimace. Grimace. I don't know any Grimace. Yeah, I don't either. Because Thanos looked like freaking Grimace from McDonald's. Yeah. So you throw a little joke in there, and it's Grimace. I don't know. I don't know what to say, big guy.
Yeah, because they threw Thanos jokes in the one that he was in the second one, which was funny. Like it works because again, that's what part of the character is. It's breaking that fourth wall, talking to the audience. Like we all know what's up. And I think at least one Spider-Man cameo would have really been the icing on the cake too.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been great.
At least one.
Well, we should have gone this Spider-Man from the 70s. What was his name? Nicholas Hammond.
Oh,
Could you imagine if we got Nicholas Hammond cameo?
That would have been funny. Oh, and if they did like the footage like the 70s too, and they kind of put like a tint on it
he's climbing the wall like this.
Yeah.
They could have easily gotten Sam Elliott as like the janitor of the TVA, and at the end him be like, let's ride, and boom, the skull flames on, right? And he's on the horse, and you're like, oh shit, it's not, it wasn't Nick Cage, but it was Sam Elliott, who was the OG Ghost Rider, the Wild West Ghost Rider, and
there's so much that they could, and that's the fun about those characters and shit, because you could have that, you could do it. What's stopping you? Nothing at this point.
Yeah. And Sam Elliott would have done it. He'd be like, how much money you going to give me, boys?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
He's counting with his mustache.
Yeah. Holy shit. All right, we're gonna wind down. I'm gonna ask you guys what you got coming up. Classic, you can go first, and we'll go around the room. Anything you got coming up, anything you want to throw out there, now's the time.
Actually, I'm pretty busy, so I've not got anything coming up this week. Hopefully next week I'll get back on track, though.
All right. Mark, you're a mad, angry guy who just wants to like smash everything. So what are you going to smash next?
Well, 2 live streams tomorrow. Playing Ticket to Ride for an hour to just to start off with, and then tomorrow at 4:30 introducing a new game to my channel called Gloomhaven. It's a port from a board game that's pretty huge, and Mary's Gamer is going to join me in the party this time, so she's going to be a party member, and it's co-op. We're not going to be fighting each other, so it'll be a good thing. And that'll be at 12 Central and 4:30 Central.
Nice. Mark D with the C, you've been kicking butt, taking names, and leaving a trail of chaos and destruction in your wake. What do you got coming on, brother? How are you doing?
I try. Yeah. Well, my main show is Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we week in review and comics, whatever's happening in entertainment. So we of course talking a lot of Deadpool and Wolverine. Probably some and I was gonna say Enter the Dragon, not Enter the Dragon. The game with what's the name of the show?
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
They stream Brain, yeah. See,
Yeah.
but that's an alternative universe version. And actually, our buddy Dave C has started a channel now, so I'm putting that link in the private chat, and he's gonna be talking about the CGC lawsuit, I guess that just broke, or I guess I was just reading, I guess there was a $10 million judgment against CGC, the grading comic book grading company. So
Ooh,
I just
really?
put that in the private chat. So if you want to throw that out there, so that's Dave C's new link, our buddy, and he's streaming, I think, right now too. So we're just started right now. So after this is over, I'm gonna head over there, and appreciate anyone hanging out on my channel and watching the toy reviews. And we have Friday night Fortnite too, so I play Fortnite late night Friday night. So
does he have redirect where I can redirect people over there?
I don't know if he's got it turned on, but I'm going to tell him to turn it on, and I'll tell him how to do it in YouTube Studio, because he just started his channel last week, so he might not have that turned on.
Okay.
You could try, I guess, if you could.
Yeah,
try
it's
to
nothing's coming up at all.
Tell him how to turn it on. Yeah, he was
okay.
asking for some streaming help.
Okay. 24/7 Fusion Media is in the house, ladies and gentlemen, and he likes to blow shit up.
Appreciate that. Nah, man, I'm just looking for the next cool thing to talk about, man. Right now, they got a lot of Wolverine talk about all kind of different aspects of the movie. Even to a point where Ryan Reynolds had a list of 70 plus actors that he was going to come and try to cameo into the movie, and he was only able to get so far, with it. So, different things like that is going on. But I'm just trying to, see what the next rumor is, see what the next story is, and just, but for now, just working on videos and learning how to edit videos, man. So that's what I'm working on, man. Just trying to get my editing skills up.
Hell yeah, brother. Keep at it.
Yeah.
Only good things can come from that, guys. I just put Benny's link back in the chat, so we've got Benny's link back in the chat. Go and check out his Kickstarter for his books. Absolutely awesome looking books. The art book part 1 and 2 looks badass. Art book 3 looks badass. I can't wait to get Shout Out the Kraken.
Thanks,
and
man.
Venus. What do you got? Live streams coming up? Anything you want to
Actually, tomorrow night, Collectible Past. Me and Tommy in the Guinea Pig Collective. He's been in chat tonight too, I think. We're gonna be doing our toy stream. It's gonna be kind of a big blowout. We're streaming on both channels, his and mine. At Vinny Art. Pretty much you can find me anywhere. Like you see it on screen here, where my name is. But I got that. Fridays and Sundays are my main shows. Friday Underground and the Sunday Roundtable, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. I'm just trying to tone down a little bit on the political side of things, but again, we're pushing comic books right now. So, but how do you not talk about what's kind of going on in the world? So we devote a little bit of time to that at least. But yeah, because it's insane. It's insanity completely. But again, trying to get good content out there for people. Awesome projects. Working on a ton of stuff right now. So yeah, check out all that. I do toy reviews from time to time still as well. But that's why usually we were doing a toy stream like once a week. But it's going to be more sporadic. I'm still going to be doing them. Tommy's going to pop up when he could. But we have a few other guests that usually pop in and out of that. But yeah, Fridays and Sundays are usually the more kind of crazy streams, and we do have a lot of fun on those. So yeah, plenty of funny bumpers and stuff too. So check it out. So thank you, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who's been supporting and watching. And I hope everyone has a great night. Oh, I'm actually going to be headed over to Wrestling with Horror, where we're doing a couple of like those Andy Sedaris movies. Those titties and guns. They're doing like watch parties, and it's pretty funny. So if you want
titties and guns, don't get better than that,
right?
Titties and guns.
Any of that.
Those great '90s movies that are just so bad that they're just hilarious.
That they had to show Nip before they.
Yeah, Julie Strain was in a couple of them too, I believe, and Pat Morita, he was in one that they were watching. He had his first sex scene. It was hilarious.
Oh wow.
Daniel son, this is how you do it. Paint the fence.
Oh, this is how you paint the fence and sand the board. Okay, we're getting out of here, guys. We will see you tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak, friend, enter. And we'll see you next week on Clobberin Times Comic Book Roundtable. Have a great one, everybody.
Later.
Peace.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.